How do you remove pressure from your passions is something that I have been asking myself for a really long time, especially as a self-admitted perfectionist and a dreamer in life. So I've been working on this specific project for the past few years. I'm at the stage of recording my songs, and I've been experiencing some very specific blocks around this, mostly around trying to make the correct decision at all times, and that being so overwhelming that it is paralyzing me. I have discovered for myself that there are two key factors that affect how I progress in my work and mostly how I feel about the process altogether. These two things are pressure and resistance, and they're similar, but they are different. Pressure is where you are expecting something to be a specific way, or there feels like there's pressure for something to be a specific way, or go a specific way, or happen in a specific amount of time. Resistance is similar, but is something that comes up that tries to hold you back from moving forward. I once had resistance explained to me like this. Over here is your current self, the version of you that you currently are. And all the way over here is your future self, the version of you that you want to be, where you have all your goals, have all your dreams, and are doing the things that you want to do. And in between is everything that you need to do to get there, or everything that needs to happen in order for you to get there. So as you embark on this path in between the two versions of yourself, resistances are going to come up in your life in order to pull you back to that version of yourself because it's familiar. And as you go along, if you can overcome these resistances, you're going to be able to move further and closer towards the version of yourself that you want to be. The closer you are to the version of you want to be, the more resistance that is going to be that, which means if you are having so much resistance in your life right now, like I currently am, you are so close to getting exactly what you are after. And that's really inspiring. So instead of seeing resistance and these things that come up in your life as something that's really saddening, this is way too hard and it's way more effort than it's worth, that should be inspiring. And you can thank those resistances in your life because you are about to become, you are closer than ever to being the person that you want to be. So some of the resistances that have been coming up in my life revolve a lot around my comfort zone and around getting things right all the time and making the right decision. Number one is romanticizing the past. I used to be able to do this so easily, or I used to do this with so much passion. I had so much time for this. A question that I've been asking myself when this comes up for me is, what can I bring in from that past feeling or that past version of myself that could positively improve my creativity and my life now? And the thing that I always come back with is passion and no pressure. I didn't have any pressure around myself at that point in time about things being perfect or things being a particular way. I was just making things in my spare time because I loved to do it. I actually looked back at an old music video that I recorded. I had avoided watching it for a really long time because I was like, oh, I was so much younger then. That's a bit cringy. When I actually forced myself to sit and watch it, I was proud. I was proud of myself for going out of my way to do all those things. There was no pressure for it to be anything or be any certain level of success. When I'm romanticizing a past version of my life, there's a big chance that I'm putting great amounts of pressure on my art now. I want it to change my life. I want it to do incredible things. I want it to be perfect. I want it to be successful. But that's not what it used to be about. And that's not what it should be about. And if I really sit with myself, that's not what it's about at all. I don't care how other people perceive my art. I don't care how great it is. I just care if I enjoyed making it and I liked it at the time. And this connects onto my second block, which is time. Not feeling like I have enough time and feeling like I used to have a lot of time, and how did I fit all of that stuff that I did into my day before? Why can't I do it now? And what I've realized is that the truth is that there is time, but we tend to fill our life with things that make us feel productive and make us feel like we're progressing, but we're not actually leaving any time for the things that we actually want to do. It's a procrastination of what you actually want to achieve. It's a distraction, which is resistance. Block number 3 is getting out of my comfort zone. It's something that I prioritized in a completely different part of my life, but didn't here. I realized that this has a lot to do with me wanting to make the right choices all the time, wanting to make the perfect decision so there are no problems and everything goes perfectly smoothly. But that's not how going after your goals works. I heard this amazing quote the other day by Tam Kaur, who's in the self-development space, and she said, "Confidence is the reward. It is not the prerequisite. It's what you get from something new." You don't just get to have confidence. You don't get to know the answer straight away. You have to try something and go at it with your best intentions, see where it lands. And if it fails, try something new. And if it works, continue on. And what I've realized is that I have been so hell-bent on making the perfect decisions that it's holding me back. It's resistance. Again, it's always resistance. I'm scared to make the wrong decision. I am scared to be the new version of myself. I'm being held back into a version of myself that I identify with now. And if I want to move forward, I have to start making decisions and taking actions without knowing the outcome, so I can be actually confident in the future moving forward. So what are my next steps moving forward? How am I going to get past these blocks? The first one that I'm going to tackle is time. This is something that I have tackled before, but I want to continue to do it now as I go forward because I've slacked off a little bit. I've hit some resistance around it. I've been reading this incredible book called We Need Your Art by Amy McNee. And in this, she has a 2-week challenge. The goal is to work on your creative process or your art for a very short amount of time every single day for 2 weeks straight. The goal with this is to remove the pressure of needing something to be perfect or needing to finish something in a specific amount of time. Putting too many parameters around yourself of how much you need to do. If you can remove that, you're going to have a much smoother process. And this is something that I did last year and it yielded me great benefits. I actually spent 2 months doing 30 minutes 5 days a week because that's what worked with my life schedule and that's what was easy for me. She says to even do 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever is going to be easiest for you. I spent 2 months doing this and I did not write an entire song that I liked until month 2 of the process, but it made it so worth it because I actually wrote something that I liked. It took me 2 months, but I wrote something that I really love and hope to release one day because I love it. So I'm going to continue on with that. The second thing I'm going to do is to tackle my comfort zone and my confidence around making decisions. So something that I've been in the process of doing is working with producers. I've realized that something that's holding me back in that space is my need to try and make it exactly how I have it in my head, or not actually quite knowing how I want it in my head, but wanting it to be perfect, this idea of perfect, instead of just letting it be. So my action step for this is to actually work with more producers to take the pressure off of each person I work with needing to give me the perfect result or the exact result I want. So my goal is to work with 5 different producers, and if I come across something that I love along the way, or I make something that I love along the way, awesome, but I'm going to come up with a list of 5. I'm going to book them all in and I'm just going to do it. And I'm going to let the creative process happen without overthinking the choices. The very last thing is to look for resistance and pressures in my life and to remove them. To stop putting so much pressure on this thing altering my life and just doing it for the fun of it. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to work with the process. I want to ask myself, how can I make this as easy as I can for me? Because historically, if I look back, it used to be easy. It felt easy, even if other people from the outside maybe thought I was doing heaps. I was doing so much, but it felt easy. And that's because I had removed this pressure for it to change my life. I read a piece of the book Big Magic, and she said that she didn't quit her job until she had her 3rd book that hit #1 was released. And I thought that was kind of beautiful because it allowed her to remove the resistance from her process. And that's something that I want to do too. I think as soon as you label something as hard, your brain writes it off. And that's something I do all the time. This is too hard. This is so much pressure. If you can reframe that and go, We are just taking steps in the process. You are going to get so much further. So even though I've been feeling a lot of blocks, I am just going to live and experience right now, because I may not get to experience exactly where I am right now ever again. And my last goal is to record and edit this YouTube video and put it out there, because that is a big resistance of mine to be perceived in this way. So join me on my creative journey and see where we go, and let's explore the belief systems around creativity and passions together. See you later.